we struggled with conditioning stuff early in our career, and like that got better, and we see that in his game a little bit too.
If it comes from a great place and a place where they just want to see me do better, thank you. But if it comes from anywhere else, everybody entitled to their own opinion. Can't control that.
Zion Williamson weight videos have long been a staple of this YouTube channel, and it looks like we have another update, and it seems like things are very positive. Now, I know what you guys might be thinking, Mike, we're not falling for this again, but I don't think this is the same case as Ben Simmons getting a jump shot or anything of that sort. I actually think that something struck a nerve with Zion Williamson, and with the moves that the Pelicans recently made, Zion's opportunity to win a championship has never been bigger, and it seems like he's taken it very seriously. So before we get to the content, we are 10,000 subscribers away from 1 million subscribers. So if you guys want to subscribe to help us get to that goal, that'd be greatly appreciated. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. NFL season's finally here, and PrizePicks is hooking us up fat with a brand new deal. New users that make a lineup of $5 get $50 guaranteed. All you have to do is go to the link in the description down below, download PrizePicks, create an account, and use my promo code microphone to get $50 guaranteed when you make a lineup of $5 or more. I give away my picks each and every day on my Instagram account at TheFlightMike, and thank you PrizePicks for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I apologize. I know it's been 10 days since I've last uploaded for you guys, but truth be told, I didn't really think there was anything worth discussing or newsworthy to bring to your attention. So I actually took a trip to Spain right now. If you guys want to see what I'm up to, you guys could follow me on Instagram or Snapchat, but that's a huge reason why I haven't gotten you guys content lately. But this storyline is significant. Zion Williamson is dominating the NBA offseason headlines once again. And unsurprisingly enough, it's not for his dunks. At this point, the annual hype train surrounding the star forward during the months off is a regular occurrence. He loses weight during the offseason, then progressively gains it back during the season. He then fails to lead the Pelicans to their team expectations, or he suffers an injury, and around we go. I mean, all you have to do is go back to this article from just this past year when fans were talking about him coming back all bulked up for a revenge season after playing 114 games in his first 3 seasons combined. Or how about we go all the way back to 2020 when he lost 25 pounds during the lockdown and people started comparing him to Bane just because he had this mask on. Now, I don't want or mean to be rude, but based on how long his weight has been a constant topic of previous off seasons, I can't help but compare him in some ways to another GQ cover basketball player who's failed to meet expectations. No, but really, the former #1 overall pick in the 2019 draft has thus far failed to fit the billing that was once attached to his name. Once touted as the next coming of LeBron James, the former Duke Blue Devil has one more All-Star appearance than he does entire missed seasons due to injury. And though he's clearly a lot better than Ben Simmons, he has still managed to put himself in a position where a lot of people are actually wondering if he could potentially be labeled as a bust. Now, I think calling Zion Williamson a bust is a bit absurd for a guy who's averaged just under 25 points per game throughout his career, but when you consider that he hasn't even played 45% of the Pelicans' games in that time, including last year's play-in game due to a hamstring issue that came on the heels of his 40-point playoff debut, the argument actually does have some juice to it. Last year, we were obsessed with Zion's off-the-court issues with his baby mama drama, which was one of the most insane stories we've ever covered in the summertime, but what really could prove to be his ultimate downfall are problems with his diet, conditioning, and just overall fitness. It got so bad last year that the Pelicans even began making public statements around the subject with the hopes that it would strike Zion Williamson's ego enough and push him to get into better shape. And though it may not have happened in time, for Pelicans fans, and really the rest of NBA fans at large, it seems like this offseason he may have finally taken to heart his role in the failures of his career so far. If you haven't seen the recent photos, the man looks like a completely different person. I mean, just look at him here, then look at him now at his new weight. He looks completely different. It's almost as if the man decided to jump on Ozempic, which by the way is not what happened because Ozempic eats eats into your muscle tissue, but the word from his stepfather is he is currently standing at 281 pounds. But he has loftier goals than just that. Zion has his sights further set on getting all the way down to 272 before the start of the season, which would be his lowest weight since he was doing things like this for Coach K at Duke University. Yeah, if you ever want to get a nice nostalgia trip and understand why Zion was selected number 1 overall, why he was compared to the likes of LeBron James, go look at his highlights from Duke. But like I've said, and probably like you guys are thinking, Mike, we've seen this story before. Every single offseason we discuss Zion Williamson's weight, and we have seen him come into the new seasons looking the part. But for some reason, this time just feels a little bit different. Yet, to be completely honest, there's no way to know for sure until the season gets underway and he actually keeps the weight off, which is a whole nother set of challenges for him. But what I'm saying is maybe, just maybe, the actual fat shaming that he went through struck a fire under him and pissed him off a little bit. Or maybe, and this is a huge maybe, it was the fact that some of his 5-year, $197 million contract he signed is now in jeopardy if he fails game limits or weight check-ins. The contract states that his body fat percentage and weight combined can't go over 295 pounds, and the fact that this information has gone public could have been pretty embarrassing. And placing this on top of all the other shaming and issues he has gone through, maybe it all finally reached its tipping point. If it has, then the rest of the NBA should probably be a little scared. I mean, could you just imagine the guy that was throwing down alley-oops like that at his former weight and what he could do after shedding over 25 pounds? The fact that he caught and slammed that without his right hand even touching the ball still baffles me. Now you might be wondering, Mike, if he does reach top form, what could this mean for the Pelicans' chances in 2025, being that they play in the incredibly deep West? To which I would like to say, don't count them out, because if Zion Williamson can stay healthy and play 70 or more games like he did last season, coupled with the fact that the Pelicans literally just stole DeJounte Murray from the Atlanta Hawks for peanuts on the dollar, the Pelicans could be a lot better than most people realize. I mean, I've gone on record to say that obviously the biggest winner in the Western Conference for the offseason is the Dallas Mavericks with the improvements that they made. But I don't think the New Orleans Pelicans are that far behind in regards to the most improved team in the Western Conference, depending on what they do with Brandon Ingram, of course. And I think the Pelicans could be a lot better than most people realize. After all, they'll be putting a starting lineup on the floor that features 3 players that have made all-star games in their career in Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray, and I want to say Brandon Ingram, even though he's been in trade rumors, but the jury's out on his future. But on top of that, they have CJ McCollum, who has quietly averaged over 20 points per game in 11 seasons in a row. On top of that, the Pelicans' first-round pick, center Yves Missy, has already begun showing some signs of promise that made him a standout defensive player in college, as well as one of the most overlooked players in this year's draft. When considering that Murray has also been known for a while now for his great defense, it seems like the Pelicans may be doing their best to build a team identity of becoming strong on the defensive side of the ball. All of that being said, for a team that, despite being swept by the Thunder in the first round, finished with 49 wins last season, they now seem to have the tools in place to be a team that some people think could be a legitimate dark horse contender for the upcoming season. Which brings us back to the man of the hour, because if Zion Williamson can't stay healthy, then it's likely the Pelicans have next to no chance of legitimately competing, which would mean that the dominoes will fall sooner rather than later, and of course, we'll see Brandon Ingram get traded. Yeah, if it hasn't been already, it would officially be time to blow the duo up. But if Zion can stay healthy and have his best season to date, then keeping Ingram around for a while could be an intelligent move for David Griffin to make, even though they haven't been the most efficient duo together when fully healthy. With rumors swirling around, it's still possible that Brandon Ingram is dealt before the season begins, but this is a decision that the Pelicans front office will have to seriously consider from both sides. And it's possible that they decide to wait and see how this new unit does before the All-Star break, before finally pulling the trigger during the final year of Brandon Ingram's 5-year, nearly $160 million deal. It also doesn't help Ingram's case for staying in New Orleans that he is seeking a max deal, and not that I blame him for wanting the bag, but coming on the heels of what he himself has been quoted as saying was the worst season of his career in a Pelicans uniform, the fact that he is seeking a max deal is kind of odd. What's even worse is that when this team needed him the most during their first round series against the Thunder, he was pretty much a non-factor, averaging under 15 points per game while shooting under 35 points from the floor and 25% from 3. Put it however you want, those are not max deal numbers, and they actually just succeeded in putting even more pressure on Zion to perform this year, which a lot of people are now counting on. The New Orleans Star's hype is so loud right now that he has officially been listed just outside of the top 10 in odds to take home the MVP award this season. And though this may sound a bit crazy at first when considering his situation, we can't forget that he is isn't the first star to ever have had weight problems during what turned out to be a Hall of Fame career. Shaquille O'Neal is the first player that comes to mind, having weighed over a whopping 400 pounds at one point in his career, though to his benefit he was one of the most dominant players ever and also played with the likes of Penny Hardaway, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade. Charles Barkley is another famously once overweight MVP who also struggled with being overweight early in his career. And yes, we all know that Gilbert Arenas may have some of the worst takes in all of sports, but he did manage to pull a piece of candid honesty from Zion.
Is it hard to diet at your age?
Sheesh.
Be honest.
Since it's you, I'll be real. It's hard, man. When you young, you feel like can't nothing stop you. But then when you look back on your life, you really look at it like, man, the people who gave me wisdom, tried to nurture me, tell me, man, like, you don't need to do that, you need to do this. At this point in my life, I'm just looking back at it like, man, who really gave me wisdom? Who really tried to put me on game to things? And what I can say is I do respect brutal honesty. I'd rather somebody be brutally honest with me than try to sugarcoat it, because at the end of the day, if they honest with me, I know what I need to do to fix it.
You look slimmer already, bro. For real, like genuinely, right? You always been a happy kid, man. So, you know, like, we know the 27 and 12. We know you're gonna do that. We just wanna see you just stay on that so you can be who you are. You know, seeing you walk by, like, you happy. Let that spirit take you with you. And
I love y'all stories, man. Y'all some real G's to the game, and I do appreciate it.
Hopefully, the 24-year-old North Carolina native is finally going to start living by. If he does, then this could end up becoming the beginning of what turns out to be the prime of his career. But if he can't look at himself in the mirror as the problem, then he's just going to continue to be his worst enemy and will share the majority of the responsibility for whatever failures both he and the Pelicans have moving forward. I don't know about you, but I am hoping for the best for him. Zion seems like a cool guy, and I do agree that after seeing this interview with him at his recent camp in South Carolina,
How you feeling first off?
I'm feeling great, brother. Thank you, Pat. How about yourself?
I'm feeling pretty good. So we know the season is about 2 months away. What's one goal you got for yourself and the team this year?
I want to win it all.
Win it all.
I'd be lying if I said anything else. I want my team and myself to win it all.
I think it's in the possibility. I think DeJounte Murray's a great pickup for you all.
Real good.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all able to do. Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
it really does look like he is in the best shape that we've ever seen him in. If this change is real, I fully expect him to begin leading the Pelicans towards a brighter future as soon as this year. Whether or not he wins MVP remains to be seen, but with the new look Pelicans, a series win in the playoffs should very well be within reach. Let me know in the comment section down below. Is Zion Williamson's weight loss for real this time? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.